green road uniforms, and that is their point guard, Kenneth Jones, whose career high came against Fairfield a couple of years ago when he had 19 points. And Jones sets it up, and Joe, this is a Loyola team that'll work that shot clock. And with 12 showing on the shot clock, he made me look bad there, Joe. He put up the shot and he had a good look, and Jones knocks down the three.
Well, Bob, I mentioned earlier, this is not a great shooting team, so it's a great start for Loyola with the big three by Jones.
And Taj Benning misfires on the first Stag shot of the afternoon. Golden Dike hands it off for their leading scorer, Cam Spencer, elbow jumper, 5-0, Loyola off to a good start.
Yeah, they're also 39% in the young season from the field, 65 from free throws. So if you're Coach Hardy for the Greyhounds, you got to be ecstatic about 2 shots taken, 2 shots made.
Some three-quarter court pressure there, Joe. A little surprised by that early look from Loyola.
Well, they're going. Yes, I am. They are going smaller. They have 4, 6, 10 guys in their 10-man rotation. They usually start 2 of them. This lineup is smaller with David Brown at the 4 spot at 6'5".
There's a good sign for the Stags. Caleb Green drains the three. That is his 3rd made three of the season on 7 takes, and it makes it a 2-point game. Stags would love to get more scoring from Caleb. He runs the show well. A few more points from him would certainly be welcome for the Stags. He's averaging 3.2 points per game. Spencer the pump fake. Stags manning up here. 5 to shoot, and DK almost turns it over. Now the runner, difficult shot. Supreme Cook has his first rebound of the game. He's averaging a team high 7.2 rebounds a game. Nice feed from Green, and Cook finishes with the flush. That was a pretty play for the Stags.
Well, it's good recognition by Caleb Green on the big little high ball screen. 2 players went to take Green. No one helped from the weak side. A beautifully executed bounce pass in the lane.
That was deflected into the backcourt by Benning. DK holding up high, Cook on him. Jalen Andrews is the 2 guard for this Loyola team. Bounces inside, DK reverse layup is good. 2-point lead for the Greyhounds.
Yeah, you're gonna, as you mentioned, Bob, you're gonna see a lot of patience, a lot of ball movement, handoff, back screens, down screens, pinch posts where they enter the ball in the high post. So Fairfield's got to go belly to belly. I mentioned that one of my keys. In other words, stay in front of your man as much as you can.
Green off of the teardrop miss. And Jones has it back at the other end for Loyola. Double clutching Jones. DK, good catch inside. Made a nice leaping grab of that pass and kisses it home. 9-5 Loyola.
Yeah, and DK averages under 4 points a game. He already has 4. Good job by Loyola recognizing the switching defense and the mismatch.
Well, Benny was left wide open, missed it, but Cook was there to flush it through. Supreme Cook has the last 2 hoops for the Stags, both of them coming on dunks.
9 offensive rebounds. He plays 21 minutes. That's over 2 offensive rebounds a game. So you got to make sure if you're Loyola, you put a body on him at all times.
Spencer off the shoulder shimmy, showing off a nice move and a nice touch. Stags quickly to the other end. Wojcik misfires on the 3. Benning, good hustle. Reset for the Stags. Kick out Chrysler. Extra passes here around the perimeter, and Benning the drive. Another kick out. Green wide open. Misfires. Good ball movement by the Stags. Just couldn't cash in.
You know, Bob, it's a good shot by Green, but you also had Chrysler on your left. I think one extra pass to one of the better shooters, not Chrysler, Wojcik. You had Wojcik on your left. Should have made that extra pass.
Andrews hits the 3. That's his team leading 12th made 3 of the season. 14-7 Loyola. They made a couple of 3s early in this game. Greyhounds looking good here. Sharp at the offensive end early. 14-7. They have the 7-point lead on the Stags with Wojcik to Benning. Cook bottled up, gets free, puts it up, puts it through. Supreme Cook is carrying the Stags offensively early in this game.
It's a flat 3-2 zone that Loyola's playing. The top man in the zone is guarding the high post. So if you hit short corner or corner and you drop that high post man, the top guy, which is a guard, is not going to follow him. He's going to be open. So good job of probing the zone defense. Taj Benning making that extra pass.
Jones bullet passes. Jesus Cruz on the floor for the Stags, and so is Chris Mido. Cruz first touch, fakes, drives, double team, gets off the shot anyway, and he puts it through with that baby hook.
We just repeat ourselves game in and game out. Just tremendous use of the pivot foot, never flustered, takes his time, and a great finisher at the rim from all angles, Bob.
Here is Illich driving and traveled. That's the second turnover. In fact, on 2 consecutive possessions now, Loyola has turned it over. Mentioned that Velko Illich had checked into the game for Loyola. His twin brother is on this team, Milos Illich, who usually starts for them. But they have, as Joe has already mentioned, 4 guys, 6'10", on this team who certainly can present some matchup problems for the Stags.
Speaking of matchup, Bob, it's a 1-3-1 Loyola zone, and on the pass they match up to where the Fairfield players are.
Good offensive rebound by Cruz, but couldn't finish, and then Mido had it and he lost it, and Illich gathers. And Loyola with the 3-point lead. They've led by as many as 7. They bring it to the front court. Andrews. Spencer gives up for Illich. The handoff for Spencer. Benning, Stags' solid defender on their best scorer. And it's a good look for Andrews, their best 3-point shooter, at least in terms of 3-pointers made. Misses that time. And here come the Stags. Down 3. Wojcik. They double team him. Then they feed it for Mido on the give and go. A turnover. Nope. Stays at the Stags' end. Shot clock is down to 4, so Cruz lets it fly and he swishes it through. Jesus Cruz with the shot clock down to 3 seconds. Beat the clock and he ties the game. One
of the big keys for Fairfield this year, as Jesus Cruz plays a perimeter 4 position, you got to be able to create mismatches by shooting that jumper. Last year, 19% from 3. This year, almost 50%, 6 for 13.
Spencer creates his own shot and he knocks it down. Cam Spencer averaging 18.5 points per game, leads Loyola, second leading scorer in the Patriot League. He now has 6. Cruz, the catch, he's feeling it, but puts up the air ball, caught by Mido, and he pushes it through to tie it at 16.
See, that's where Mido is effective. Is he at his size a post player yet? Not really. He's one of those guys that can come from the weak side on both ends, get an offensive rebound or get a block shot.
Illich. Jones lets it fly, drops it through. Third made 3 of this first half for Loyola.
Well, my first key for Loyola was threes, please, and certainly they're shooting the ball better today than they have already in this young season.
We mentioned Jones, his career high is 19 against the Stags. He has 2 made 3s for 6 in this one. Benning, baseline, bottled up. Regathers, Wojcik, great look, front rim. So he's called to start the game. And it goes back to Loyola. The Stags have never led in this game. There have been 3 ties. Jones, kick out. Here is Andrews, and they back it up. Spencer, the catch, and he's held. Now for Loyola, that is their 4th made 3 of this first half. They've made 9 of their first 11 shots.
Well, it must be contagious. David Brown, the third, 2 for 10 coming in. Knocked it in like he's been making them all year.
6-point lead for Loyola as Jalen Leach in the game now. So is TJ Long for the Stags. Here is Cook back in the game. Nice move in the lane, and he is fouled on the reach-in.
You know, I like, and I don't know if this is going to go on for the next few minutes, but Fairfield's 2 for 8 from 3. And I mentioned, here's a replay. There's no double team, okay? So I mentioned that Loyola would pay a lot of attention. There's a spin move and the obvious foul. I mentioned that any team that comes in against this Fairfield team is going to key on the three-point shooting because they're 38% from three. They're a much more improved shooting team than they have been. And that's going to leave the 5 men not open per se, but they're going to be in a position where they won't get double teamed. And even though Lyle Biggs out there, okay, they're not going to double team. And DK's a pretty good defender. Bottom line is Fairfield's got to recognize when you're 2 for 8 from three, this possession, the next possession, let's go inside. We got a one-on-one situation for a young guy, Supreme Cook, the sophomore, is going to be one of the better players in this conference.
Spencer faking, shooting, oxygen. Cook with the rebound. Benning up the floor. And here's Long, who was one of the heroes in the game against Stony Brook on the day before Thanksgiving. Benning driving, and that's a fancy maneuver right there, and he has a possibility here for a three-point play.
Loyola, Bob, now switching back to a man-to-man, okay? So they're trying some, not junk defenses, but they're trying to change up. There's a little stutter and go. You see the gap? So if you're a young offensive player, or any age for that matter of fact, the key thing is, Bob, is you got to be able to play under control. Having quickness and having the ability to play fast is great, but you got to put yourself in a position to probe defenses. Is there a gap if I go left? Is there going to be help? Do I kick it? Taj Benning, a fifth-year senior, one of the better players in this conference, does that really, really, really well. And, again, 5 years, good size. He's able to get to spots where maybe other guards can't.
Benning missed the free throw, and the foul at the other end is called on Chrysler. He fouled the player who had fouled Benning, Milos Ilic, as we've already mentioned. Twin brothers on this team out of Serbia, Milos and Velko. And here's Wade Jackson. Golden DK working on Cook. Another turnover. That'll be the third on Loyola. No turnovers on the Stags.
And DK doing something, you get a look at him here talking to the official, doing something that he's really not I'm not going to say not capable, but it's not one of his strengths. Here's a guy that plays 22 minutes a game. He averages almost 8 rebounds and almost 2.5 blocks, and he's a very good passer out of the post. 15 assists, 10 turnovers early on in this season.
As Joe pointed out, Loyola now straight man-to-man. There's Long backing up. Tough shot. Long 2 for TJ Long, his first 2 of the game.
Yeah, that young guy doesn't play like a freshman from Rockville Center, the Long Island area, which is a pretty good area for basketball players. He comes in and just plays like he's been playing college ball for a number of years.
Nice dig down. Almost created another turnover, but off of the miss, the Stags have it back. Loyola's, just by the law of averages, going to cool off at some point. They're shooting 75% in this game to open it up, and there's the reach-in foul. A touch foul on Kenneth Jones. Caleb Green had checked back into the game and on the floor there, draws the foul as Jones questions the call. Stags on this possession trying to take their first lead. Jesus Cruz back in the game, now has moved up on the Stag scoring list. We will get that exact number down to you as Loyola gets it back off of that tipped out of bounds off of the Stags. 1,223 points now for Jesus Cruz. He is number 22 all time. Next guy that he has to catch is Pat Urena, our buddy from the great 85-86 Stags MAC championship team. Andrews bouncing for Spencer. Has it rejected by Cook, and here come the Stags on the breakout. The lead pass Long, lays it up, and he's fouled. So defense leads to the fast break, and the Stags will go to the line.
Yeah, great block that time by Supreme Cook. And you're going to get a look at the block here. He leaves his man to help. And it's good to see Jalen Leach at the head of the break. You know, with the foot injury, missed pretty much all last year. He's been a little limited in terms of his movement. You know, he's come in and knocked in shots on, you know, as a catch and shoot guy. But I think every Fairfield fan knows that he's a player that can play off the dribble. To see him getting minutes and being able to run up and down, lead the break is a big plus. I think this is a Fairfield team, Bob. I'm not ready to call them a championship team, but I think they got good balance. They have players in the right position. They have good experience, and they have good depth. They always defend, so they're going to be in ball games. But there's a long way to go. And the MAC, as we know, with Iona, Monmouth, some of these teams are really playing well this year. But the task at hand right now is to beat this hot Loyola team.
Well, the Stags had taken their first lead, but Spencer puts down the 5th made three-pointer of this first half for the Greyhounds, who average as a team on the young season 7 per game, and Spencer the steal. Gives for Jones, misses the. But Capital City plays the Westchester Knicks, whose home this season is this building. So you may have a couple of appearances by Spencers this season in Bridgeport.
Out of the timeout now. Loyola's been switching up. I haven't figured out when they're changing defenses, but that's a 1-3-1 zone.
And TJ Long beats the zone with the 3, and the Stags regain the lead. And boy, TJ Long just adds an entirely different look to this Stags offense, as an offensive foul on Wade Jackson is going to give it back to the Stags. But Joe, it's a domino effect, isn't it? When you have a player like TJ Long, who you can insert into the team's offensive scheme, it just changes everything.
Well, Bob, he attempts 6 threes per game. 70% of his shot attempts are threes. So if you're in, I don't care what defense you're in, man or zone, trapping, you better know what Long is, where he is, and you better get him out of his comfort zone.
And as we've already talked about, he's more than just a good shooter. This guy's a basketball player. Good passer, smart defender. Shot clock winding down. They skip it to Green. He drives and off the mark, kept it alive, but goes out of bounds. Long has hit a minimum. In fact, except for the Stony Brook game when he hit 3 3-pointers. In the first 4 games for the Stags, he had hit 2 in every game, 2 3-pointers. And he was part of that big run by the Stags in the second half when they were down 11 against Stony Brook. Stags went on a flurry of 3-point shooting, made 5 straight. He had 2 of the 5 in that stretch, reaching foul on Cruz.
Fairfield's been involved with 4 games decided by 10 points or less. And what you're alluding to, what you and I have seen pretty much every game, he's not afraid to shot.
Well, that's the other thing about his makeup. You can see he just plays with a confidence that you can't teach that. It's innate. And he goes out there and he just takes care of business. What is surprising is how that confidence is so apparent as a freshman. That's one of the Milic twins, in this case Milos Ilic, who lays it through. It's funny, Joe, you were talking about how the size matchups for the Stags, as that goes out of bounds. Wojcik dribbled it along the baseline. Anyway, we thought that maybe their size, Loyola's size, would pose a problem to the Stags, and it has on a couple of occasions, yet it's the 3-point shooting for Loyola that's been the story for them so far in this game. Well,
what they'll do, they will isolate via the post, the high-low situation. When you have 2 6'10" guys and they're brothers and they're twins, I got to say that they pretty much know each other. That situation, Velko Ilic hit his brother on the high-low, and I'll say it again, there it is again. Loyola likes to do a lot of high-low situations.
And here's what I'm talking about from TJ Long. Smart defender, broke up that play, and here's Long cashing in at the other end. 28-27 Stags.
That was a tough pass. It was a 3-on-2 situation, and Benning threw a hard air pass to Cook. He bobbled it in the bobble, got himself a little closer, but the strength of the sophomore, he's able to muscle it in.
Spencer tosses it up, air, caught by Ilic. Velko puts it through. 29-28, Loyola back on top. 5 minutes to go in this first half.
Bob, they're really stretching the zone defense, this matchup. So in order to be effective, you got to move the ball and then attack gaps. If they're going to subject themselves to coming way out, get closer to the basket by getting into the gaps, into the gray areas.
Wojcik missed the 3 and then hung the head a little frustrating so far in this game for Jake Wojcik. Spencer driving, double clutching. Now, that's a beautiful move by Cam Spencer, as he continues to have an outstanding first half. Up to 11, 31-28. Loyola.
Bob, I'm impressed with this Loyola team. They're picked 8th in the Patriot League. It's hard for me to believe they're only the 8th best team in that conference by the officials. But I like this Loyola team. I like the way they're changing defenses. I like the fact that they made threes. Spencer's a good guy to put your hat on. He can carry you if you need to. And like I said, that Patriot League must be a good league this year if they're only picked 8th by the coaches.
Long misfires in that one. Cook had the rebound, and there is the tie-up. Genetics at work in that family, huh?
Yeah, well, my mom and my aunt were identical twins, so I don't know. I don't see that. I don't know if that's going to happen in our family, but congratulations to Jay and to Sue. Another tussle, Bob.
Another tussle there as Cook and Jackson got involved.
There's Benny. This is what I'm talking about with Cook. He's getting better at moving without the ball. Found a gap in the zone, was on the baseline. A little bit of a push there by Jackson, Wade Jackson. Supreme Cook showing his emotion. But Supreme Cook, I think, has improved so much in terms of moving without the ball. Get himself in a position to catch and score and to get offensive rebounds.
First foul on Cook, 4th on the team. Spencer, there's Brown, good look, rims in and out. Cook had a rebound. Stags down 3. They were down 6 at the half against Stony Brook the other night.
Yeah, Stony Brook put a 40 spot on them at halftime in Fairfield. Jay Young, who's primarily known for defense, was probably not happy with that effort. They came back and won the game in overtime, though.
Wojcik is for Chrysler. 3-pointer is good. Zach Chrysler from long range, his 7th 3 of the season. In fact, all of his field goals made this season have been 3-pointers. That ties the game at 31. Spencer backs up, Wojcik on him. Repost for Illich, knocks down the defender Chrysler, who thought that he'd taken a charge. Instead, he gets warned on a flop.
Yeah, again, if you watch our broadcast, Bob, and I know you're getting tired of hearing this, it's the worst call in college basketball. Let him flop. If he wants to flop and put himself on a defensive disadvantage, that's fine. Wish him good luck. But the referees are told to call it, and it's ironic. Some do and some don't.
Just for the record, to our viewers and listeners, as Wojcik tries to get in the book, and he does. He had missed his first 4 shots, all 3-pointers that he missed, but that time he knocks one down and the Stags have the lead. I was going to say, Joe, that I wanted our viewers to know that before every game when we chat with the officials, you say, I don't want to see any flops.
No flop calls.
And it has not worked the last couple of games. In fact, we saw a technical called against Stony Brook on 2 flops as Green drives and put it up, no basket, put it up above the rim. The whistle blew before the action there.
And you saw the ill-advised 3 by Miloš Ilić. Not only is that quick in the shot clock, he's 3 for 18 now from 3. We got some.
Well, Caleb Green is questioning that last call, and he's going to go to the line here, but that's a pretty long conversation he's having with Mike Palau.
And Jay Young now having a conversation with Matt Potter. I don't know. We might have missed that, but that's an ill-advised 3 by Miloš Ilić. Not only are at 6'10" are you taking a shot that you're 3 for 18, but there's no chance of an offensive rebound when you're out that far. And also remember, long shots mean long rebounds. That gives a Fairfield team an opportunity to get something quick and something easier than they normally do.
Bonus time for the Stags, and Green hits the first of 2. Loyola has yet to take a free throw in this game. Green has made all 6 of his free throws this season. Remember, he struggled early on last year from the foul line for the Stags. Fairfield has its largest lead. Illich to Illich, the twin brothers connect. But misfiring is Velko, and the Stags look to extend the lead. Green puts on the brakes. Benning. Wojcik hands off. Mido. Up top, Cook. Here's Benning. Shot clock inside 10. Cook working one-on-one against Velko Illich, and he beats him to the hole, and the Stags have extended the lead to 5, and Supreme Cook is having a very good first half. He now has 11, and that's an offensive foul. And
Bob,
that is Illich who set the screen, and Illich is going to get called on the offensive that allows the Stags to continue what's been a, you can see the screen there, Joe. I mean, that was an easy one to call, but the Stags on a nice run here.
Well, it's been a point of emphasis the last few years that anytime you hand off, the handoffs and the ball screens have now become such a big part of college basketball in terms of offensive end. But when you hand off and roll into somebody, okay, and it was done pretty well and pretty often in the past, the emphasis now is to call that a foul. I've watched a couple of game films of this Loyola team. The Illich brothers like to do that a lot. And I'm curious, coming into the game, if the referees talk about that prior. But that was an easy one for John Gaffney, the official.
Wojcik got caught midair and turned it over. Spencer to Jones, lets it fly, front rim. Wojcik rips down the rebound, and
they consider those delay of game fouls, so calls, so warning. So the next one for each one of those teams is going to be a technical foul. It has nothing to do with the coach. The coach is a separate entity.
7-0 run by the Stags. Shot clock 15, game clock 28. Long catch, fires, and hits! A three-pointer from T.J. Long as the shot clock was starting to wind down, and the Stags now have an 8-point lead, their largest. They opened their season at North Carolina, played in a tournament at the College of Charleston. And let's see, the Stags do have a foul to give. In fact, they have a couple to give. With 7 and 2/10 seconds to go. So it'll be a side out of bounds for the Greyhounds. As mentioned, they played in that tournament in Charleston, the Rising Coaches Challenge, and beat South Carolina State, lost to the College of Charleston and Lipscomb. They've also lost to Coppin State.
Bob, they're going to foul again because Jack Mullally's in the game. A little used walk-on. Well, I guess I'm wrong.
And there's the catch by Spencer and the block lead. The former MAC rivals matching up here on a Sunday afternoon in Bridgeport, and we are underway with the second half. Fairfield has scored the last 10 points in this game. Spencer trying to feel his way in the lane, and Cook the reach in, knocks it away from DK, and then DK tries to bounce it off of him and successfully keeps it in bounds for the Greyhounds, but they have only 3 to shoot, so Spencer knows it, fires, and off of the miss, Supreme Cook the rebound.
Good defense by Fairfield. When Spencer has the ball, he can score in a lot of different ways. Great rebound by Cook, his 8th.
There's a block of the Caleb Green shot. That's a three-pointer off of the mark, missed by Andrews, and so Loyola continues to cool off from deep. Wojcik was cold early in this game for the Stags. Man-to-man, Jones on Wojcik, and he tied him up, and the arrow belongs to Fairfield. So a good job there by Loyola defensively, and the Stags will inbound. Wojcik is the Stags' leading scorer, has just 3 in this game so far. Cook has been their leading scorer, and he dunks it through with the left hand. He found a little bit of space and then slammed it home.
Not a bad idea to go inside. DK only played 9 minutes, has 2 fouls, did not want to commit his 3rd.
Some good footwork there from DK, and that ends a 12-0 Fairfield run, extending back to the first half. Fairfield by 8. Benning to Green, and kickball by Spencer. Talked about the switching defenses all afternoon for Loyola, Joe. We're seeing that again here to start the second half.
Well, what they're doing, Bob, is they're making it hard to enter the ball into the corner, okay? The wings are way out. So this is a good opportunity if you're Fairfield to use pass fakes. Reverse, reverse, reverse. Then pass fake the ball to the corner. Watch the defensive move and attack that gap and make a play for yourself or your teammates.
Cruz, the spin, the baseline maneuver, the kick out, and a good one for Green. Doesn't finish the three-pointer, and Velko Illich, the rebound. Passes around the perimeter. They reverse it to the corner, and that is David Brown who hits a three.
And that Spencer drew the defense, made the kick. You know, back in the days, you would get screamed at for giving up an opportunity to get a layup or a zero-footer to kick it out to someone who's 22 feet from the basket.
So the lead for Fairfield is 5. Early here in the second half, Green corrals the pass. Benning fakes right, drives left, right at the big man, and he puts it in over Velko Illich. Taj Benning showing no fear. Illich up high, working on Supreme Cook, and defended well, so he gives up. Benning on Spencer, picked off of the play. Spencer, one bouncing down low on the backdoor look, and then Brown is fouled, and Jesus Cruz trying to help there, got there a little too late.
Bob, you talked about the history of the career or the background. There's a little back cut right there. You talked about Coach Hardy, Tavares Hardy, and how he's been raised in this coaching world. Played and coached with Bill Carmody, who's a Princeton guy, and you're going to see a lot of dribble-ats. Big guys dribbling at little guys. You're going to see a lot of handoffs, and that's a particular play. What my point is, what you're taught to play against your man. So if a dribble's coming at me and a man is overplaying me, I'm going to take him one step higher. Okay, make him think he's doing a good job, and then back cut. And at the same time, the side that you back cut from, the corner man's got to lift himself so there's no weak side help. And it's a beautifully exited Princeton pocket pass, if you will, for the back door.
And it ends up with Loyola getting his first free throws of the game. Brown missed the first, made the second. David Brown, the freshman out of La Plata, Maryland. He got the start here today and looking pretty steady for this Greyhounds team. They have a couple of good-looking freshmen. Nick Marshall's another, but he's unavailable today. He's had a number of nagging injuries, and he will not play today. Cruz crossing over, stops, looping for long, and the three is short. And Brown has the rebound, and down by 6. Here come the Greyhounds, spotting up. Jones swishes home the 3. So they are using that 3 to stay right in this game. That time it was the point guard, Kenneth Jones, senior out of Hillside, New Jersey. Makes this a one-possession game. The Stags have the lead. Next dead ball will be our first time out of the second half as Benning drives, contact, no call. Cook takes the delivery, and that is their 6th of the game. So they've got the ball back. Loyola has the ball back, down 3. That is Brown. Andrews, good three-point shooter. Cruz reads the pass and then actually tried to throw it off Illich, but it worked out just fine for the Stags as they've got it back off of the Loyola turnover.
Good job by Cruz. He was caught in a mismatch on the switch at 6'4". He's guarding 6'10", but he used his quickness to get a good angle on that post feed and knocked it away.
Chris Mito in the game, kicks out for Cruz, drives into the green, and reverses. 10 to shoot for the Stags as Benning, one bouncing Green, lays it up, lays it through. Beautiful pass from Taj Benning to set up Caleb Green. And right back at the other end and hitting and scoring on a potential three-point play is Jalen Andrews. So Loyola getting out.
Well, a couple of couple of bad defensive sequences, one by each. Well, Kenneth Jones got caught watching the ball. He got beat on the back cut. Right there, see number 25, Jones. Good ball movement, good find, and certainly good back door. But you got to get back on defense. After a made basket, there's no way that the offensive team is quick enough to beat you down the court into a situation where you're going to get an easy two, or in this case, an old-fashioned three-point play.
That Fairfield foul was on Jesus Cruz. That's his second. It's the second against the team. And the Loyola team that did not shoot any free throws in the first half is setting up for its third free throw attempt, trying to complete the old-fashioned three. There's Jalen Andrews, and he knocks it through, so it's a 2-point game. Fairfield had extended the lead to as many as 8. That was the halftime lead. And then there was a 10-point lead early here in the second half, but the Greyhounds have fought back. Wojcik's been quiet offensively so far for the Stags. He has the ball here. Good fake, and that's a 3. Raises the rim and goes out of bounds. And John Gaffney overruled the initial call, said that last touched Loyola, so the Stags catch a break.
Well, he was the closest official and had the best look, so we'll take his word. But what Loyola's doing, again, is they're using that zone defense way behind 3. I talked about one of my keys. You got to pay. I thought Loyola, when you look at Coach Jay Young, you 3 seconds on the shot clock, Bob. I'll let you take over here.
Benning, alley-oop from Mido, gathers it in, spins, gets it off, and he beats the buzzer with a baby hook.
Loyola's doing a good job, Bob, of extending that zone defense and forcing Fairfield into taking contested threes or not letting them shoot threes. They got to do a better job on shot fakes and pass fakes and getting into the gap, into the lane.
Well, Mido made that basket and then gets called on the hold at the other end. That's the third team foul on the Stags. And the first on Mido. And Loyola will inbound. And Spencer on the inbounds play has an easy 2. So the Stags, I'm sure they scouted it, Joe, but for whatever reason weren't ready for that.
Well, TJ Long's got to learn, if you're playing the inbound, you either got to put heavy pressure or you got to play the play. In other words, get back, look and see who's cutting, take away the basket. He was in limbo, and that's the worst place to be.
Chrysler, catch, release, three-pointer rattles out. And down only a couple, and having trailed by as many as 10, Loyola has a chance to tie or take the lead. It's a feisty Greyhounds team on the floor this afternoon. As DK, Golden DK gives up for Spencer. He has 13, shot clock 7. There's the 3 in the air. DK has the rebound and he's held by Chrysler. That'll be the 4th foul on the Stags. And the momentum clearly belonging to the Greyhounds, who have outscored Fairfield 14-8 in the second half.
I thought there was a shove. I thought the referee kind of got the second foul on that play. What happened was long shots mean long rebounds. I thought DK did a little shove with his left arm, created some space, and that caused Chrysler to foul.
There's DK, high-low action gathered by Illich. Looking to post up on Chrysler and misfires, and Benning has the rebound. So the Stags dodge that bullet, leading by 2. They bring it to the other end with Benning. Shuffles for Leach in the game. One bouncing long, and he's held by Illich on the baseline.
You know, Bob, I got to believe TJ Long knows this and saw this. When you're going to play a 4-out defense where you're matching up with all 4 offensive players and you play 2 6'10" guys, somewhere on that perimeter outside the 3 is a 6'10" guy. Long had one of them on him. He decided to dribble by him, and Illich committed the foul. Good recognition and a good mismatch. You got to take advantage of that by TJ Long.
Cook working on DK. Ducks in with the left shoulder and kisses it off the glass. Supreme Cook having another solid game for the Stags. He has 15. And at the other end, the Greyhounds stay hot as Kenneth Jones, who loves playing against the Stags, his career high came against Fairfield a couple of years ago. That was 19. He has 11 in this game. 2-point Fairfield lead. Benning. Long on the perimeter. He is triple teamed and he's banged down. Well, actually, he hit the deck, Joe, but the call's going against the Stags.
Stags finding some trouble now with this active defense, getting penetrating possessions. The ball is mainly on the perimeter. You can't dribble into three guys. I'll say it again, Bob. Pass fakes and shot fakes will help against this defense.
And there's Spencer taking the pass down low on the back cut, and he ties the game to 51. So the Stags have their hands full here with this Greyhounds team that came in with a record of 2-4. Long a three, rattles it home. C.J. Long, again, shooting with confidence. Third three for TJ, 3-point lead for the Stags. Long now has 13. Part of a potent Fairfield bench on this day. DK handing it off for Jones. Illich down low, Cook knocked it away, and Long comes away with the steal. Cook, the initial good play, and then Long has his batted away. Spencer, who gets the return pass, lays it up. He thought he was fouled. We play on. Spencer really showing a lot of emotion there, Joe. Did you think there was a foul?
It was hard to tell. It did look like a foul, but you got to play on. You can't leave that young man open.
Who's that, Joe?
TJ from Long.
TJ Long steps up for the Stags. Back-to-back threes. He has a season and career high 16, and now Loyola out of the timeout. Tries to recover again. Illich to Spencer. Right back to Illich. Beautifully run play, and Illich scores to make it a 4-point game. Almost midway through this second half. Have to be specific with the Illiches, by the way. That was Velko Illich. Shot clock inside 10 for the Stags. Long is draped, gets rid of it for Green. Touches it over to Cruz, backs up with one to shoot, fires it off the side of the backboard. Shot clock violation. The Greyhounds have overcome it. 7 Ubers. That is how Loyola got to the arena today. They will not Uber back to Baltimore, I can assure you that. We'll find a new bus by the time this game is over. 57-53. Stags up 4. Loyola not going away in this one. And it's going to be a reach in. Touch foul on Taj Benning. And Joe says, no, who we got, Joe? It was Supreme Cook who reached in.
A lot of contact in that post. It looked like there was going to be a strong side entry to Village, Milos Village, and a lot of contact, and referee saw Cook reach in, and good call.
5 team fouls on the Stags and 2 on Cook. Velko Illich gives up for Spencer, and he fires away and swishes it home. Cameron Spencer makes it a 1-point game.
You just love the way he plays. He's out there, he reads the defense, he plays against his man. He just plays the game, he doesn't force anything. And what's annoying, if you're a Fairfield fan, is that he looks like he's not even sweating, Bob.
He has 18 in this game, and Joe, the one really extraordinary thing about him is he is playing hurt now as Cruz sneaks in and kisses it off the glass. 59-56 Stags. Spencer's playing hurt now, and he will be playing hurt for his entire career, with a hip injury that required surgery, forced him to miss 12 games last season. He didn't return to them until very late COVID-affected season, as that ball is popped loose, and Loyola has it, but they have to shoot it up with the shot clock winding down, and now Cook has it back. So they got Spencer back late last season, and no coincidence, they made a very surprising run in the Patriot League tournament. Upset the top seed, Navy, beat Army, got to the championship game against Colgate. Well, pretty much because they got Spencer back in the nick of time. And here he is with the ball.
Bob, they went into that tournament as a 9th seed, and they got to the championship first time since they joined the Patriot League in 2013. And we haven't mentioned the NBA player they lost from last year's team also.
Illich. This is a problem for the Stags. They have, with Spencer and those big guys, good inside-outside presence.
Well, Spencer, as you mentioned, was the key to their victories last year, getting back into that tournament, getting a championship game. But the NBA player I mentioned was Santi Aldama, who was 30th pick in the first round for the Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah, he was drafted by the Jazz, traded to the Grizzlies, and he plays for Memphis. This is a guy out of Loyola.
Right.
Was a first-round draft pick. Meanwhile, Supreme Cook, Joe. We'll talk about him in a second here as it's a possible three-point.
And I thought that time there were 2 holds on the Loyola player. Matt Potter called the second one.
Wojcik off of the fake, and that hesitation allowed him to lay it through, and he lost the sneaker. Now Wojcik is playing with one shoe. So and he's setting up defensively.
Shoeless Jake.
Shoeless Jake. He's blew a tire there and thought he was fouled, and maybe got his foot stepped on as the ball gets stripped out of bounds. That will give Jake Wojcik a chance to jog into the backcourt and retrieve the missing item, which happens to be his right shoe.
It would help Jake if you tied that bad boy a little tighter, although I don't know, do they have shoelaces on their shoes anymore?
Stags have gotten beat on the inbounds earlier in this game by Loyola, not that time, and Spencer takes it on top. Jackson off the hesitation, looking for the contact, misses the shot. Where's it going? Going back to Fairfield. I tell you, we, by virtue of that last play involving Wojcik, have a chance to talk about what a good job they've done. Loyola's done in him defensively today.
Yeah, he's definitely going to move up on the scouting report. You know, when he transferred from Richmond, maybe he was 4th or 5th on the scouting report. Now he's probably 1st or 2nd. But I want to give a shout out to Chris Mito there. In the last 2 defensive plays, he's left his man and helped to either block or alter both of those possessions.
Well, Wojcik not scoring, but that was a beautiful pass inside to TJ Long.
When you look at Wojcik and you look at Spencer from Loyola, you see 2 guys that have a high skill level and a big-time amount of savvy, able to make plays for themselves. I always say this, make plays for themselves or their teammates.
Long has 18. That's his season and career high, and he's already been MAC Rookie of the Week once, Joe, and not knowing much about what other rookies in the MAC have been doing over the last week or so, but tell you what, he's making a bid for another one, but it's almost a moot point. This guy is going to garner quite a few of those awards, and already it's clear to see he'll be one of the top frosh in the league this year.
Well, you know, we watched a player by the name of Tyler Nelson, who's the all-time leading scorer at Fairfield. We watch his improvement over the 4 years, and it's hard not to sit here and think about how much better this guy is going to get because he's a hard worker in practice. And like you say, he's a basketball player. He does a lot of the little things, and then when you can knock in threes, that's such a big part of the game. He's going to be a force in this conference for 4 years.
Jackson made both ends of the 1-and-1. The foul, by the way, was on Long. That was his first. Stags are over the limit. Only 3 team fouls on Loyola. Under 6 to go in a competitive game here on a Sunday in Bridgeport. Benning, open 3 off the back rim. Mito mistimed the jump on the rebound, and Spencer dishing out for Andrews. They swing it around for Jackson. 5.5 to go, and shot clock is inside 10 as Andrews fires away and it rattles home, and it's a 1-point game.
Bob, I really underestimated this team, Loyola's team, in terms of offensive capabilities. They've not only made a lot of threes, but they can score in different ways, layups, pull-ups, off the dribble, off ball screens.
Wojcik fake the 3, back rimmed it, so he's been off the mark today. And now Loyola can go back in front. They trail by as many as 10 in the opening moments of the second half. came back to tie the game at 51, have never been able to edge back in front in the second half. Now they can take the lead, and they have done it on the feed from Andrews down low to Golden DK, 66-65, Loyola on top.
And Fairfield, I think, fell asleep there. Chris Mido was not in a position where he should have been. When that ball is above the foul line and near the foul line, you got to be high side of your man in the post area. He was behind. A quick little cut by DK and an easy 2 for Loyola.
Wojcik, now Benning. Benning puts on the floor, reach in, stripped away, it's loose. And the tie-up's going to be called. And out of all that, Joe, Stags did not get off a good shot. And Loyola has a chance to extend the lead. They have gone on a 6-0 run to take the lead by 1. Backdoor cut by Spencer, had it knocked away. Here come the Stags with 4 minutes to go. And a steal by Jones. I'll tell you what, this Loyola team has really shown, as I mentioned already, some tenacity. They've been hustling, energetic. Right now they're a step faster than the Stags.
It's a well-coached unit, especially on the defensive end. It helps that they've been 8 for 16 from 3, but defensively I think they've disrupted momentum over long stretches for Fairfield, over Fairfield.
Off of the miss, the ball gets poked into the air, and here comes Fairfield again, trying to go back in front. Kick out for Long, puts it up. That 3 doesn't go down, but a great rebound there by Benning, who was knocked to the deck. That'll be the 4th team foul on Loyola. The Stags are in the penalty. So still a few fouls to go before the Stags are in the bonus, but Benning went way up.
2 Loyola players, Bob, did not make contact with Benning. That's his 4th rebound. By the way, Taj has not had a great scoring night, 4 points, but how about 6 assists and no turnovers?
Wojcik still can't get it going. He's 2 for 9 from the field in this game, and he's had a quiet 5-point afternoon. And Loyola has the ball back. Stags offense has gone into the deep freeze like this building right now. And the turnover on Loyola. Benning comes away with it long at the other end and misfires. Cruz on the putback misfires, and the tie-up, and the arrow belongs to Loyola.
A lot of contact. First of all, another great play by Taj Benning. Again, just showing people it's not just about scoring points. The ball was loose. He came from the weak side, got the steal. TJ Long tried to create contact in a 3-point play. Matt Potter, the official, said that the Loyola player on defense was straight up. So again, Loyola defensively in a situation where you think it's going to be easy too, they really, really stood up and took away that opportunity for a quick basket by Fairfield.
Fairfield's gone over 3.5 minutes without a point in this game, and we're down to 2:35 to go in the game. As Golden DK hands it off for Spencer. Kick out, Jones, 3 is good. Kenneth Jones continues to burn the Stags. How many times have I mentioned it, Joe? This guy's best games ever scoring came against Fairfield, and he's doing it again. He has 14. And that was a huge 3.
I hate to be Debbie Downer, but when Jones shoots the ball, he falls down a lot. Even though he made it, he fell down. Why was a flop not called in that situation? What would have been a technical foul.
Foul call there on the reach-in by Jackson. But right now, this game, simply put, Joe, is a matter of one team energized and fired up. That would be Loyola, and the Stags just not matching that right now.
Well, Fairfield has not answered the bell defensively. We've been talking a lot about offensively how they've improved, and they are a defensive-oriented team, but Loyola's getting some big baskets. And again, you could look at both sides and say, well, that was a contested 3. The kid just made a great shot. But Loyola seems to have a lot more answers than normal teams do against Fairfield.
That free throw by Cook ended a 9-0 Loyola run. And one more coming for Supreme. Made them both. Big free throws, important free throws by Supreme Cook. 19 points for Cook, so he's on the verge of what could be the first 20-point game of his career.
Well, Bob, you know, we talked about Loyola struggling from three on the year, and there's a nice full court press here by Fairfield, putting some pressure on. Let's see if Loyola can take advantage of it.
Jones, good pass for Dike, who dunks it through. So they handled the press extremely well.
And if you watch Fairfield Stags play this Jay Young team, they don't normally press. It's not something they work on a lot. It's mainly just half-court defense rather.
15 to shoot, under 2 to go in the game. Long, driving, defended, gives for Cruz, deep three, front rim, deflected by Benning to Wojcik. He drives, the teardrop, too strong. Rebound, loose on the floor, the scramble is on. And the Greyhounds refuse to go away. Now they have a 4-point lead. 1:15 to go. Spencer off the pivot. Now that's a big miss as the Stags have it back with 1:05 to go. Long is for Wojcik. Who wants the ball here is the question to be asked as the tie-up is called. This time the arrow does favor Fairfield, but that's representative of the kind of defense that Loyola's been.
2 threes, but you want to get a basket quick. You have 2 timeouts. You got to get a basket, call a timeout.
Stags down 6, got to hurry, have to score. They've missed their last 7 field goal attempts as Cruz misses the 10-footer. Ball is loose, Cruz gives it for Wojcik, and he stepped on the sideline. A turnover by the Stags at the worst possible time. 34 seconds to go, down by 6. Wojcik steps on the sideline. A discouraged checked in. Here's Benning to 3, and it is short. And Loyola may have dodged the bullet there. 9 seconds to go. There is Jones looking to kill the clock. The gift for Jackson. There is the foul. The Stags got the steal, Joe. But that three-pointer by Benning would not go down, and not many shots went down for Fairfield over the last 6+ minutes of this game.
Well, it's a great defensive stance by Fairfield, denying the ball in, the desperation pass knocked away. Bob, Taj Benning is terrific, okay? He's one of the better players in this conference. I don't know if you want to take a contested 3. Once you line up for 3, and you see that defender, go in and get a hard layup. I know you don't have a timeout left. Knock the ball away inadvertently.
4 seconds to go. The miss by Jackson, front end of the 1-and-1, but time is winding down, and it